I can remember it vividly. It was about 3 months ago. I was just chilling in my room, minding my own business. And by minding my own business, I meant I was knee deep in my computer folders, browsing all of my compiled memes from the internet as I attempt to make the latest meme compilation for my YouTube channel. I didn't earn any revenue for it, but I had fun while I did. So I was in the middle of rendering my masterpiece. My Twitter alerts me with a notification. Turns out I was sent a DM from this girl called Anita Keys. So at first I was racking my head wondering who this Anita Keys is. So, like any sane person, I stalked her profile. After some thorough investigation, I concluded that she is also a YouTuber. A well-known vlogger type, her content was mediocre at best, ranging from fake pranks to fake social experiments that she broadcasts to her 12 million subscribers. From the perspective of someone like me, it was obvious that she was pandering to a much younger audience, but who cares? I remember clicking on her latest video and it was her running around a forest, shouting at whatever spirits to come get her. The forest looked familiar. It was like the forest by the edge of our small town. Trying my best not to slap myself on the forehead, I skipped through the video until the end and I found something weird. By the end of the video, she was holding the camera by herself, but at the start, she was being filmed. I decided to shrug it off as a cheap trick to make people believe that she was alone. Finally opening the DM she sent me, I read it aloud.
Hey, you're Zach, right? You make all those meme compilations?
I replied with a, "Yep, that's me. What's up?"
Well, I am looking for a camera person and editor. My last one walked out on me and I was wondering if you could help me out.
Sparing all of you the other minute details of the conversation, we discussed all about pricing and location. I was not much of a whiz with a video camera, but I can hold it straight enough. Within our conversation, I also found out that she lives just by the town next to mine. If she needed help with the video work, I could just ride my bike there. And that is exactly what I did. She paid enough, well enough for me to upgrade my computer so I can render her videos at a higher resolution. Granted that I kinda lost time from my own personal channel, but I didn't make any money on it anyway, so not much was lost. My parents didn't ask too many questions as well, since they knew I was making money from what I did. Not bad for a 16-year-old, am I right? Jumping back to present day, after all the videos were made, and admittedly, they were awkward. I didn't know how, but she would find paid actors and make them do crazy stuff. Pretend kidnapping, pretend stalking, pretend bullying, all that mess. Didn't mind, since she paid well, and I thought about quitting the gig once I've fully upgraded my computer. She hits me up with a text saying,
Hey, I have this awesome idea for a video. Meet me by the old graveyard in between our two towns at 12 midnight.
I wanted to protest. I mean, it wasn't like I was scared or anything. Nah, I mean, I was scared a lot, but it also felt rude disturbing graveyards. I wouldn't want my tombstone being made fun of for internet points. But after a bone was tossed my way, in the form of a hefty sum of cash called a bonus, I caved and reluctantly said yes. Slowly watching the clock strike midnight, I made sure to tuck in some pillows under my covers, just in case my parents would check up on me while I was away. I packed my gear into a bag and opened my bedroom window. I was lucky enough to have my bedroom window placed on the bottom floor. After making sure to leave the window cracked open slightly for later use, I make my way towards the dumpsters beside my house. After my conversation with Anita earlier, I made it a point to throw away the trash after dinner. It gave me the opportunity to stash my bicycle behind the dumpsters. Quickly grabbing it, I started pedaling as fast as I could. Where I lived in is a more rural area. I had a flashlight with me, but I didn't want someone thinking I was some thief or something else. I let the dim streetlights guide me until the edge of town where I hit Dirt Road. A few meters off, I can finally see the graveyard's big metal gate. Standing in front of it and illuminated by a dim orange light was Anita. She was brushing her curly brown hair from her face as she swatted around at buzzing bugs. I stop in front of her and she sarcastically remarks,
Took you long enough.
"No extras this time." Whipping my head around looking for other people.
Nope, just us. Come on, I know a gap by the railing. We can enter through there.
She led us to the south side of the railing where, true enough, there was a gap. By the looks of it, it seems like it was hit by a truck or another big vehicle. I guess the caretaker couldn't be bothered to fix it. After hastily making our way inside, I only then noticed a thick mist covering the ground of the graveyard. Goosebumps prickle up my arm as my mind started imagining spooky things. Anita snapped me out of my trance by asking me to start filming. I stiffly reach for the gear inside my bag and start recording it. Whatever fear I felt earlier was replaced with disgust as Anita started messing around with the tombstones. She kept insulting people's names or dancing on top of their gravestones. I wanted to scold her, but I didn't. I just kept the camera rolling. I wanted to scold her, but I didn't. I just kept the camera rolling. Drew the line when she started reading a small one, and it said, "Born June 10th, 1997. Died June 30th, 1997.
I guess this one didn't pass kindergarten, huh?
I shake my head and pause the recording. Anita, what the hell? Is there a line you wouldn't cross?
Anything for views.
My body suddenly felt cold after she said that. I shake my head once more and continue recording. Every time she would do something even more stupid, she would keep saying, "Anything for views." Each one being more monotone than the next. Throughout the whole way, I kept having this weird feeling like someone was watching us. I could see movement by the corner of my eye, but I couldn't look at it. Shaking it off as paranoia, I decided to look at my wristwatch. It read 2:45 a.m. As I look up, I see that Anita was no longer in front of me. I rapidly start scanning my surroundings. I think I lost her. Thick mist on the ground was now rising, which made it harder to see. I didn't want to make too much noise, so I just whispered loudly, "Anita! Anita, where the hell did you go?" After a few minutes passed of me hissing at her, I was about to call it quits and leave her there, but that felt rude. I mean, she may be inconsiderate, but I didn't want to be linked to the crime if ever something bad happened to her. The rising mist was now fog-like as it hit me at chest level. My hissing was interrupted abruptly by a loud, ear-piercing scream. It was female. It was Anita. I started sprinting towards the direction of the scream. Tripping over ankle-length tombstones, I didn't care anymore. All I wanted to do was grab her and get out as quickly as I can. Her screams kept going, like she was being tortured. It rang in my ear and through my head like church bells. The closer I got, the more blood-curdling they became. I finally reached the source of the shouting and see a small crypt. Immediately rushing inside, I thumbed through my flashlight, opening it and hoping to catch what was going on. As my eyes adjusted to the light, I saw something that made my stomach turn. On top of the elevated grave bed was weird symbols written in what seems to be thick red liquid. 4 tall figures in tattered robes adjacent in each side were standing there with their arms raised. 4 tall figures in tattered robes adjacent in each side were standing there with their arms raised. They were mumbling words that didn't make sense. I started backing up when I immediately felt a sharp pain on my skull. I blacked out. Slowly coming to, my wrists and ankles felt heavy. As I forced my eyes open, I could see that they were tied up with thick rope. I struggled at the binds, but they wouldn't give. Whipping my head around, I can see the hooded figures. They were still chanting in that weird, garbled way. As I struggled, I could see by the entrance of the crypt enters another figure, this time smaller than the others. The figure was clutching my gear bag and started rummaging through it. I opened my mouth to protest, but I felt dizzy. I ended up slurring out what I wanted to say. The figure started assembling my camera and tripod and faced it in front of me. They drew their hood back and exposed their face. It was Anita. Her mouth was twisted in a wicked smile. Her eyes fixated on me. What the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on? I managed to say in protest.
Anything for views.
My eyes widened as I saw her removing a large hunting knife from her sleeve. I struggled at the binds as much as I could, but they wouldn't move. I followed her hand go up, the blade glinting in the low light. The chanting of the hooded figures beside me became louder and louder, drowning out any screams.